an arc fault circuit interrupter, or AFCI, breaker keeps tripping, there are several troubleshooting steps to consider. Firstly, inspect the circuit wiring. Check for any loose connections, frayed wires, or damage to the wiring. Use a voltage tester to ensure proper voltage is present throughout the circuit. Secondly, test connected devices. Unplug all devices connected to the circuit. Plug in devices one by one, testing the breaker after each connection. Identify the specific device or devices causing the trip. Thirdly, check for arc faults. Use a portable arc fault detector to scan the circuit for any electrical arcs. Arcs can be caused by loose connections, damaged insulation, or faulty appliances. Fourthly, inspect fixtures and outlets. Check for any loose screws, cracked faceplates, or overheated wiring in light fixtures. Inspect outlets for any signs of arcing or damage. Replace any faulty fixtures or outlets. Fifthly, examine neutral connections. Locate the neutral wire in the electrical panel and ensure it is properly connected. Check for loose or burnt connections on the neutral wire. Sixthly, consider other factors. The environment, specifically excessive heat or moisture, can cause AFCI breakers to trip. Some surge protectors can cause AFCI breakers to trip. AFCI breakers can sometimes interact with ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, devices, causing nuisance tripping. If no issues are found, reinstall the AFCI breaker, ensuring that the breaker is inserted correctly and the terminals are tight. Consider using a different AFCI breaker from a different manufacturer. Inspect the electrical panel, checking for any loose connections, burnt wiring, or damage to the panel. If all else fails, seek professional help from a licensed electrician who can further troubleshoot and resolve the issue. It is crucial to prioritize safety when dealing with electrical systems. If unsure about any step, consult a qualified electrician. Never work on live circuits. Always turn off the power at the main breaker before inspecting or working on any electrical components. Regular maintenance and inspections can help prevent electrical problems and ensure the safety of your home. Furthermore, understanding the function of an AFCI breaker is essential. These breakers are designed to detect arc faults, which are dangerous electrical conditions that can lead to fires. They are more sensitive than traditional circuit breakers and can trip even when there is no apparent overload. Nuisance tripping can occur when the AFCI breaker detects a minor arc fault that does not pose an immediate threat, but it is still crucial to investigate the cause of any tripping. When inspecting the wiring, pay close attention to areas where the wires may be exposed to physical stress or damage. Look for signs of rodents chewing on the wires or nails or screws puncturing the insulation. Also, check for any water damage or corrosion that could compromise the integrity of the wiring. When testing connected devices, try to isolate the problem by plugging in devices that are known to be in good working order. If a particular device consistently causes the breaker to trip, it is likely the source of the issue. Consider having the device repaired or replaced. When using a portable arc fault detector, follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. These devices can help pinpoint the location of arc faults in the circuit, but they may not be able to detect all types of arc faults. When inspecting fixtures and outlets, look for signs of overheating, such as discoloration or melting of the plastic components. Also, check for any loose wires or connections that could cause arcing. If you find any faulty fixtures or outlets, replace them immediately. When examining neutral connections, make sure that the neutral wire is properly connected to the neutral bus bar in the electrical panel. Loose or burnt connections can cause voltage imbalances and lead to AFCI breaker tripping. When considering other factors, be aware that certain environmental conditions can affect the performance of AFCI breakers. Excessive heat or moisture can cause the breaker to trip prematurely. Also, some surge protectors can interfere with the operation of AFCI breakers, so it may be necessary to try a different surge protector. If you have ground fault circuit interrupter or GFCI devices on the same circuit as an AFCI breaker, they may interact with each other and cause nuisance tripping. In this case, you may need to separate the ground fault circuit interrupter or GFCI devices onto a different circuit. When reinstalling the AFCI breaker, Make sure that it is properly seated in the electrical panel and that the terminals are securely tightened. Loose connections can cause the breaker to overheat and trip. If you have tried all of these troubleshooting steps and the AFCI breaker continues to trip, it may be necessary to contact a qualified electrician. An electrician has the expertise and equipment to diagnose and repair complex electrical problems. They can also ensure that your electrical system is safe and up to code. Remember, electrical work can be dangerous, so it is always best to err on the side of caution and seek professional help when needed. Firstly, a deeper look into common causes of AFCI trips is warranted. AFCI breakers are designed to detect several types of arc faults, including series arcs, parallel arcs, and ground arcs. A series arc occurs when there is a break in a single wire, such as a frayed extension cord. A parallel arc occurs when there is a short circuit between two wires, such as when damaged insulation allows the wires to come into contact. A ground arc occurs when a wire comes into contact with a grounded surface, such as a metal conduit or a water pipe. Secondly, understanding the difference between AFCI and ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, breakers is important. Ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, breakers are designed to protect against ground faults, which occur when current leaks to ground. Ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, breakers are typically used in bathrooms, kitchens, and other wet locations where there is a high risk of electric shock. Arc fault circuit interrupter, or AFCI, breakers, on the other hand, are designed to protect against arc faults, which can occur anywhere in the electrical system. AFCI breakers are typically used in bedrooms, living rooms, and other areas where there is a high risk of fire. Thirdly, testing the AFCI breaker itself is important. Some AFCI breakers have a test button that can be used to verify that the breaker is functioning properly. Pressing the test button should cause the breaker to trip. If the breaker does not trip when the test button is pressed, it may be faulty and need to be replaced. Fourthly, checking for electromagnetic interference, or EMI, is important. Electromagnetic interference, or EMI, from other electronic devices can sometimes cause AFCI breakers to trip. Try moving any electronic devices that are located near the electrical panel or the circuit wiring to see if this resolves the problem. Fifthly, checking for shared neutrals is important. In some older homes, multiple circuits may share a single neutral wire. This can cause imbalances in the current flow and lead to AFCI breaker tripping. If you suspect that you have shared neutrals, contact a qualified electrician to investigate. Sixthly, documenting the tripping pattern is important. Keep a record of when the AFCI breaker trips, what devices were in use at the time, and any other relevant information. This can help you identify patterns and narrow down the possible causes of the tripping. Seventhly, considering voltage fluctuations is important. Voltage fluctuations can sometimes cause AFCI breakers to trip. If you live in an area with frequent voltage fluctuations, consider installing a surge protector to protect your electronic devices and prevent AFCI breaker tripping. Eighthly, checking for loose connections at the devices is important. Aside from checking for loose connections in the electrical panel itself, check for loose connections at the devices connected to the circuit. Sometimes a loose wire nut can cause issues that will create an intermittent fault. Also, sometimes the receptacle itself will have issues. Ninthly, checking the grounding system is important. Ensure that the grounding system is properly installed and connected. A poor or missing ground can cause a number of electrical problems, including AFCI breaker tripping. Tenthly, consider consulting with an electrical engineer if issues persist. An electrical engineer can conduct a thorough analysis of your electrical system and identify any underlying problems that may be causing the AFCI breaker tripping. This may involve specialized testing and equipment that is not typically available to electricians. Regular electrical inspections can help identify potential problems before they become serious. Schedule an electrical inspection at least once every 3 to 5 years, or more often if you have an older home or if you have made any recent changes to your electrical system. By following these steps, homeowners can effectively troubleshoot tripping arc fault circuit interrupter, or AFCI breakers, and maintain a safe electrical system. Remember that dealing with electricity can be dangerous, and it is always best to consult a qualified electrician if you are unsure about any step.